You are listening to the Cricket Corner podcast with me, Vatsal Vora. Well, here we are after months worth of cricket being played, 47 matches in total. It has finally led to the World Cup final being played in Ahmedabad at the mighty Narendra Modi Stadium, and the match is going to be between the home favourites, the home team, Team India versus the giants of world cricket in the form of Australia. Welcome back to the Cricket Corner podcast with me, Vatsal Vora, for a preview episode. We have done lots of reviews on this platform, but today is time for a preview episode as we look ahead to the World Cup final being played between India and Australia in Ahmedabad on Sunday, the 19th of November. So much things have happened in this World Cup which has led to the final, which has led to the game which we have all been waiting for, a clash of the titans between India and Australia. India on a roll, 10 matches in a row they have won, 9 in the group stage and 1 against New Zealand in the semi-final as well, beating the Kiwis by 70 runs. Australia, on the other hand, had a wobbly start to their World Cup campaign, losing the opening 2 matches against India in Chennai and then against South Africa. But since then, they've recalibrated themselves and they've found their mojo back, and the team are one of the most informed teams in the World Cup right now, along with Team India. Australia have won, how many games they have won? I think 8 games in a row, 8 games in a row they have won, 7 in group stages, and the semi-final victory over South Africa, which they have to do it again when they face India in the final. That game against South Africa was one of the most nail-bitey game we have had. I don't even know if that's a word, but yeah, it was one of the closest game we have had in this World Cup so far. I think the pressure of the semi-final made it more tense than it should have been. South Africa giving Australia a target of somewhere around 213 runs to chase down. In an ideal scenario, that would have been one of the most easiest run chases in Australia's recent history, but it wasn't supposed to be because the pitch in Kolkata was turning square. Part-time spinners were getting the best out of that wicket. The likes of Shamsi and Keshav Maharaj were doing excellent with the ball, and Australia were tottering at one stage. This was after a brilliant start and a brilliant platform laid in front of them by their openers in the form of Travis Head and David Warner. But since then, after that, wickets came tumbling at regular intervals, and it took the calmness of Captain Pat Cummins along with his fellow strike bowler in the form of Mitchell Starc to get Australia over the line and make sure that they reach their 8th World Cup final. If I'm not wrong, I think they have won 5 and lost 2 in their last 7-1. I think, this is their 8th World Cup final. As far as Team India is concerned, this is going to be their 4th World Cup final. They have played in 1983, which they won. They won it in 2011. They lost the 2003 World Cup final to Australia famously at Johannesburg, where Australia gave India a mighty 360 runs to chase down, and India unfortunately could only put up 234 in return. And of course, India won in 2011 as well. As far as Australia's record in the World Cup finals is concerned, they reached their first World Cup final in 1987, if I'm not wrong. They did win that one. They lost the 1996 one against Sri Lanka. 99, they beat Pakistan in the final. 2003, yes, once again, they hammered Team India in that particular game. 2007, they did beat Sri Lanka, got their revenge for 1996. And in 2015, they beat fellow hosts in the form of New Zealand to clinch their 5th World Cup title. The game against India is going to be one of the closest game India could have imagined, and an opponent well capable of beating them, to be honest with you, because we have seen this in this World Cup time and time again. Good nations, good teams come up against Team India and they fail to perform. We have seen England play poorly against India. We have seen Sri Lanka being dismissed on just 55 runs. Get your words out properly. Yeah, 55 runs at Wankhede, and then we saw South Africa being bundled out for just 83 runs in Kolkata in the group stage. So we have seen good teams fail against Team India, but I think you cannot say the same thing when it comes to Australia, because that opening game which the two sides played I think it was at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai. Yes, Australia did post just 199 runs, giving India a measly total of 200 to chase down. But then India was struggling. They lost Shubman Gill early. They lost Rohit Sharma early as well. And it took a monumental task from KL Rahul and Virat Kohli to see India over the line. So that one game was probably the closest India have come to actually being defeated by an opposition in this World Cup. So the game against Australia cannot be taken lightly in any stretch of imagination. I'm sure the Team India and the management are aware of that fact. So that was the introductory part of this podcast. So let's get down to actually previewing the World Cup final, which is going to be played at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad on Sunday. Let's start by talking about the opening partnerships in Team India and for Australia as well. Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill have been brilliant all throughout this tournament. Yes, Shubman Gill did miss a couple of matches early on after since he was suffering from dengue. So we saw Ishan Kishan play in those couple of matches. But apart from him missing this couple of games, he's been excellent in this World Cup. Played a useful knock of 70 odd runs in the World Cup semi-final against New Zealand, coming back from being retired hurt due to cramps and coming back towards the latter stages of the 50 over quota Team India have, and he was not out in the end along with along with Ravindra Jadeja. But it's when you talk about the Indian batting and particularly Indian opening, you have to talk about Rohit Sharma. I think we have talked about how good Rohit Sharma, how selfless Rohit Sharma has been for Team India, and his aggressive intent has allowed the likes of Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli to play their natural games, because he has given them the platform that they don't need to score runs quickly, because once he's out, India already have a run rate of 7.5, 8 runs and over. So the batsmen coming after Rohit Sharma have a time to relax, take care of the situation, take a grasp of the conditions in which they are playing. So I think Rohit Sharma's contribution to this World Cup for Team India has been absolutely incredible. And I want to see that happen once again in the final. People were questioning whether Rohit Sharma would play with that attacking intent in the semi-final, because it's a knockout game. You cannot afford any mistakes. You have to give your 100%. And it was against a very good bowling side in the form of New Zealand. The likes of Bolt, Southee and Lockie Ferguson have troubled the Indian batting attack in the past, so there is history there as well. But Rohit Sharma just came out to bat and said, I am not going to be bogged down by the sheer enormous semi-final stage, and he just came out there, played his natural game, and he took the opposition bowling out of the game in the first 10 overs, which allowed the likes of Kohli, Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul to come in, play their natural game with attacking intent, with flair, and took India past that 390 run threshold. Amazing display. Now, on one hand, Rohit Sharma opening the innings has been a revelation in this World Cup. He's been positive, he's come out with an attacking intent, but then you have to remember a fact that in the final you are going to be facing arguably the second best opening bowling attack in the form of Josh Hazelwood and Mitchell Stark. You saw it in the semi-finals against South Africa, how good Mitchell Stark and Josh Hazelwood bowled in their opening spell. I think Hazelwood was given 6 overs in his very first spell. I think he picked up 2 wickets and just conceded 8 runs. In the end of the match, he has bowled 8 overs, 3 maidens, conceding just 12 runs and picking up 2 wickets. Mitchell Stark is also capable of giving you early wickets. He's able to find swing even if there is not for normal bowlers. But hey, Mitchell Stark isn't a normal bowler. So that is going to be a very, very interesting battle right when the game starts, assuming India is batting first, or even if India is bowling second. That is going to be a very, very good battle right when the game commences, because Hazelwood and Stark have been brilliant, but so has been Rohit Sharma up the order as well. So personally, I don't want to see Rohit Sharma change his batting attitude just because it's a final. I think, if you personally ask me, I think Rohit Sharma will play the way in which it best suits him, and that is to go out there, give a good whack, and take the pressure away from the batting side and put it into the bowling side, because that's what he's capable of doing. And yes, Hazelwood and Stark are really, really good bowlers, but so is Rohit Sharma. I'm sure if we sitting here, I'm thinking about should Rohit Sharma play in an attacking style against the likes of Hazelwood and Stark. I think the reverse situation will be happening in the Aussies' mind as well. Like, what if Rohit Sharma comes out and just smashes our 2 best bowlers in the form of Hazelwood and Stark? I think that's what happened when he did it against the likes of Bolt and Southee. They took the bowling threat out of the game in the first 10 overs, and it was just smooth sailing for Team India. A very similar situation could happen in Ahmedabad on Sunday as well. I'm not saying that it won't, but I really want Rohit Sharma to go out there, play his natural game, take pressure out of the middle order, but I think he should be a little bit careful as well, because we have seen it in the past. When India lose early wickets in the power play, the middle order takes its time to get used to the conditions, and they play a little slow than expected. We saw it against England when Gill, Kohli and Shreyas Iyer were dismissed for around 40 odd runs and India were 40 for 3. It took some time for the likes of Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul and Surya Kumar Yadav towards the end to come in, settle their nerves and score freely. I think Rohit Sharma's intent allows them to play freely from the get-go, but if they are losing early wickets, I don't want that to happen, because that can take the sail away from the Indian fierce batting attack. Talking about the opening batting, we also have to talk about how good Warner and Travis Head have been. I think the return of Travis Head from injury has been the game-changing thing that has happened to this Australian side in this World Cup. Don't get me wrong, Mitchell Marsh and David Warner were outstanding even before Head came back to the side, but I think since Travis Head has come back, I think his intent has been as clear as Rohit Sharma's. He's going to go out there, he's going to play his fancy shots, and he's going to take the momentum away from the opposition bowling attack. Now, arguably, he is going to be facing an even more of a challenge when he faces the likes of Bumrah, Siraj and Shami. Shami has been excellent in this World Cup, 23 wickets. So I'm really interested to see how Travis Head tackles these three. When we are talking about Rohit Sharma and his contribution up the order, I said that Hazelwood and Stark are the second best opening bowlers in the World Cup, because the number 1 slot comfortably belongs to Siraj, Shami and Bumrah. I think Travis Head is someone, regardless of the format in which he's playing, he plays in a very similar kind of attacking. He comes out with an attacking intent, and I think that will not be changing anytime soon, if you personally ask me. Similar to Rohit Sharma, Travis Head has been doing the exact same role with other players coming down the order. Like Team India, Gill and Rohit Sharma go out there and try and take the game away from the bowling side. I think in the Australian setup, it's Warner and Travis Head who do that. If you get an early wicket, you still have someone like Mitchell Marsh coming in at number 3, so he is coming out with an attacking intent in himself. After that, there is a slight dip in strike rate when you have Steve Smith and Manas Labuschagne, and I think you can even include Josh English in there as well. We're going to talk about the playing 11 in just a moment, but there are 3 players who are capable of playing at a strike rate of around 90, 95, maybe 100, but you cannot expect them to give you runs at an alarming rate at which the likes of Marsh, Head and David Warner are capable of. Then for an Australian, you have to go down at number 6 or number 7 when there is Glenn Maxwell. Glenn Maxwell, again, one of the most informed players in this World Cup. You saw it, that innings against Afghanistan, 201 not out. I think no one's going to forget that innings anytime soon. So there are good hitters up and down the batting order. You have 3 at the top in the form of Warner, Head and Marsh, and then you have Glenn Maxwell coming in at number 7 and giving you those quick fire runs towards the end as well. But it is going to be one of the most closely fought games that India have played in this World Cup. I have no doubt in my mind. I don't see the final of a World Cup being as one-sided as the game against Sri Lanka or South Africa were for Team India. And I particularly feel that because time and time again, regardless of the format, the pitches at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad have been very, very good, and they have aided batting really, really well. We saw it in the test match in the Border Gavaskar Trophy, the 4th test match between India and Australia, which ended in a draw. I think Travis Head did score 100 in that game, didn't? Oh no, it was Usman Khwaja and Cameron Green who got a century, and if I'm not wrong, it was Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli as well. But we have seen batting being relatively easy, relative in the form of playing in a venue like Lucknow or Eden Gardens at Kolkata. I think batting is going to be relatively easy in Ahmedabad, and personally, if you ask me, win the toss, bat first, because it's a big occasion. You're playing a final in front of more than 100,000 people. You don't want that pressure of chasing in a final in front of so many people to go to your head. There can be a situation where Team India probably chasing 280. On any other day, you could have chased down 280 with relative ease, but when it comes to playing in a World Cup final, it's going to be tricky because of the pressure surrounding the game. So let's keep things simple, win the toss, bat first, and see where the score takes you. I think the game against, I think it was Australia who batted first against England here in Ahmedabad, and they posted 286 runs, which looked kind of on the below par side, don't get me wrong, but in the end it was more than enough because England could only put up 253 in return, and Australia won it by 33 runs. But on the other hand, England made 282 runs in the very first game of the Cricket World Cup, which was played in Ahmedabad as well against New Zealand, and then New Zealand chased that down with so much ease, the likes of Devon Conway and Rachin Ravindra showing how good the pitch was, when even though it was floodlights and a bit of dew factor involved in it as well. So yeah, the dew factor might be a reason why the skipper decides to bat second. But if I was the captain of be it the Indian side or the Australian side, if I'm winning the toss, I'm 100% winning the toss and batting first. So let's quickly run down what could be the possible playing 11s for both Australia and Team India heading into the final. I think the way in which Australia played against South Africa and how good the composition of both batting and bowling were, I don't see Australia changing their side, and I don't see India changing their side as well. For Australia, it's going to be Travis Head and David Warner to open the innings, Mitch Marsh at 3, Number 4, Steve Smith. Manas Labuschagne at 5. Wicketkeeper Josh English at 6. Glenn Maxwell at 7. I think I've put Glenn Maxwell at 7, but you can bump him up or down the batting order depending on the situation. But for the time being, Maxwell is at 7. And then you have 4 really, really good bowlers in the form of skipper Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, Adam Zampa, who has been excellent in this World Cup, and Josh Hazlewood rounding out the Australian playing 11. Adam Zampa had one of the best games I've ever seen someone play in this World Cup. One of the best all-round performances in the World Cup, if you personally ask me, against England in the game that happened at the Narendra Modi Stadium itself. Adam Zampa, 10 overs, 3 for 21 on that occasion. 29 of 19 deliveries, a healthy contribution with the bat lower down the order, and he was excellent in the field as well. I don't remember who the batsman was, but I think he took a really, really good catch at fine leg, third man kind of an area, running in front and diving to take the catch. So this venue has been good as far as Adam Zampa is concerned, so he would be one of the players to look out for as well as far as the team India is concerned. But yeah, I don't see Australia making a host of changes. Well, heck, I don't even see them making a single change because they have played really, really well in the semi-finals. Yes, they lost wickets all over the ground, all around. But sometimes you just have to stick to the formula which has brought you into the final and hope for the best that these same 11 players will help you win your 6th World Cup. Australia do have some really good players on the bench. The likes of Cam Green is there. There is Marcus Stoinis in there as well. Sean Abbott has played a few games, but I don't see any one of those 3 being shoehorned into the starting 11 because the team has been doing really, really well, and you want to keep that momentum going. Keeping the momentum going is exactly what Team India have done throughout this World Cup. And if you can just point out a random person walking down the streets and even he can name the playing 11 that India will use in the World Cup final. And for those of you who don't know, the playing 11 for Team India goes like this: Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill open. Virat Kohli, 711 runs in this World Cup. Easily the highest run scorer in this World Cup. 3 centuries under his belt as well. Went past 50 one-day centuries and surpassing the great Sachin Tendulkar. He'll be at number 3. Shreyas Iyer, 4 consecutive half centuries and 2 consecutive centuries. He'll be at number 4. Number 5 will be wicketkeeper KL Rahul. Number 6 we have Surya Kumar Yadav. Then we have Jadeja, Shami, Kuldeep, Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah rounding out the playing 11. India don't like to make unnecessary changes, and we have seen that happen time and time again in this World Cup. Even a game against the Netherlands at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, where it was a complete dead rubber. There was no point. India had already secured qualification into the semi-finals. They were already guaranteed top spot. As far as Netherlands are concerned, they were down and out towards the bottom end of the table as well. There was nothing to play for, but still India went with this same playing 11. And if they can do that in a dead rubber game against the Netherlands, you can be pretty sure that they are not going to make any changes in the final. It is going to be a big game. Showpiece game, if you personally ask me. Celebrities galore. I think there is Dua Lipa performing, there is Pritam performing. I think Jonita Gandhi is there to perform as well. There's obviously going to be the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the stands as well, along with Jai Shah, Amit Shah. There's also reports circulating on social media stating that all the former World Cup winning captains are going to be there at the Narendra Modi Stadium, and they'll be facilitated with a special blazer. So you can expect the likes of Steve Waugh, Ricky Ponting, Owen Morgan, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Aravinda De Silva, Clive Lloyd, Alan Border and likes to be present at the venue as well. And there's also apparently going to be an air show by the Air Force. So there's a lot of hype surrounding surrounding this event, but in the end you have to remember that this is a sporting event first and not an entertainment event. We are seeing entertainment take front stage over sporting events at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, which is happening in the United States, which is a complete which is embarrassing to the sport, and you don't want the entertainment side of things to be above the sporting side. And I hope the cricketing fraternity understands that yes, there is going to be a lot of glitz and glamour on Sunday, but this is a World Cup final. We want some really, really good cricket, and hopefully India can come out with their third World Cup title. That's it for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, or you can tweet it at me as well. Whom are you supporting? What do you think will happen in the final, and who do you think will win it? Personally, bias or whatever you want to call it, I'm backing Team India to do it. I think it's written in the stars. They have been brilliant throughout this World Cup. The fans have been brilliant. The cricket has been even better, and I don't see them being stopped on the last hurdle. But if any team can do that, it is surely going to be this Australian side, and it would round up a wonderful 2023 for them. They've already retained the Ashes. They've already won the World Test Championship final by beating India at the Oval, and they could round it out by winning the 2023 50 over World Cup as well. And Pat Cummins could be one of Australia's greatest ever captains. Well, the cricket between these two sides is not going to be stopped anytime soon. A couple of weeks after the final, two sides are going to be competing in a 5-match T20I series as well. We're not going to talk about that here in this podcast. This was completely focused on the World Cup final. You can sense the atmosphere is filled with excitement and joy and hope and optimism. That's the word. Thanks for tuning in. This is me, Vatsal Vora, signing off. Ciao for now.